right, team, we're going to go ahead and get started. Chuck with Traders War Room. Guys, you are in a fantastic class today, and I know you guys already know what we got going on, but we have guest trader Diesel Trades here, and he's going to teach you how to day trade, reading candles, volume, momentum, and basically just going to show you his power punching style that he has become extremely popular. So, Diesel Trade, at Traders War Room, we look at the market like a war zone, right? Stocks,
yes, sir.
Those are our battles. We do it together as a team. It's only fitting that we got Diesel Trades over here. That's a Marine that's going to teach you how the Marines react quick, fast, in a hurry, and with explosions. And he trades the way I expect him to trade, being a Marine. And I appreciate you having here. And Diesel, hey, man, the wheel is yours, brother. Take it, and I'll be in the background just doing some moderating stuff, letting people in. But the wheel is yours. Take the class, and I look forward that everyone's going to have a fantastic class today.
Awesome. I appreciate you, Chuck. Hey, guys, how we doing today? Go ahead and type in chat. I have this open on another screen, so I'm looking at that at all times as well.
Oh, question. Do you want me to enable them to unmute themselves, or do you want to control the mutes?
Yeah, they can unmute themselves.
All right, I'll go ahead and fix that right now. All right, you guys should be able to unmute yourself. So if Diesel asks you a question, you should be able to come in there and unmute yourself and say an answer or whatever.
Nice. Awesome. I'm getting this PowerPoint all set up. I'll set up in clean like. First, let me introduce myself. I know Chuck gave a really good introduction. Yeah, my name's Rich. I go by Diesel. I'm a United States Marine Sergeant, maybe a Staff Sergeant this year, depending on how this board goes. I'm 24. Well, shit, I'll be 25 tomorrow. 24 years old. I've been in the market since 2019. I've been trading options specifically since roughly 2020, mid 2020. And I really put my success on the 99% of the things you do after that market bell closes, whether that's reading up YouTube videos. It can be something simple like that, looking up YouTube videos, seeking mentorship, not looking at the charts and waiting for your swing to print or go minus 100% essentially. And with my work style, I'm a lad gunner by trade. We're in the field a lot. We're doing a lot of hooking and jabbing, and you kind of really look at that hectic work schedule, and you're thinking, hey, do I keel over and die and start trading when I get out, if I get out, or do I adapt to the market? And essentially, I found out that a fast momentum scalp style is perfect for what I have to do. I have 17 knuckleheads under me. I got to train, mentor, and teach those guys every day while calling. I like to do about 4 or 5 trades a day, but some of you guys have seen me go maybe 15 trades in a day. And, this strategy here is going to really enable it. And a little bit of background behind all that is it's indicator trading. Yes. I know a lot of you guys think that it's wishy-washy, or you think it's like, astrology signs, but let me tell you how these momentum indicators work and how effective they really can be. And there's a little bit of fundamental analysis. I do light fundamental analysis, because really I think that's more astrology trading. I think this price should be this, but you're one of those people out of, let's say, hundreds of thousands who end up trading that ticker that day who have a different sentiment. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and load up this PowerPoint. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or in the chat. Just be like, hey, Diesel, can you slow down a little bit? Or, hey, can you touch up on this indicator here? Or can you touch up on why you use this indicator? Go ahead and get the screen share going. This will stop the other user. Sure thing. Oh, sweet. So I could go on. Already. Can everybody see this screen right here in my mouse? Awesome, yeah, awesome. So y'all might see a couple typos. This PowerPoint is yours. I'll send this to Chuck after this class. And this is yours to keep, just for a little bit of a sanity check when you guys are scanning the markets, or, you're going to do a teach back on yourself. Totally yours. But yeah, I'm going to go through this PowerPoint kind of fast. It's going to take roughly an hour before we get to live practical application part. So I really want to get you guys to get that practice in before we cut you for the day. And on Tuesday, y'all are doing this on your own. Okay. So introduction. Hey, this class will be roughly 2 hours long. Questions are strongly encouraged. Okay. I can run my mouth for 2 hours straight, but really what gets me my fulfillment is you guys are receiving this information I'm giving you. There's going to be 2 portions. Okay. It's going to be the PowerPoint and a live demonstration with student participation. So if you guys are on a computer, I really strongly suggest using a screenshotting software like Giazzo or Print Screen, because I'm not going to require it, but I really recommend you guys taking screenshots when we do these exercises and just drop them in chat so we can check your work and make sure that you really are grasping this. The PowerPoint portion may be fast paced. However, the demonstration is going to be able to help, because I'm really gonna dissect this thing to the molecule. All right. Because if you're a rock kid like me, you're going to have to repeat yourself about 14 times before I actually get it. Then for reference, please open TradingView on the SPX SPY chart. You can honestly use any ticker or index you want. However, you guys know me, I'm a SPY devil. Okay. That's all I trade. I have good vibes only. We're about to be a sniper gang after today. Okay. So I know that the concepts of change or learning new knowledge at a great velocity could be kind of stressful to some of y'all. Try to keep a good mindset, ask those questions. I promise you we'll get through this. So first things first, I'm going to walk you all through my indicators plus settings on those, because I like to keep a nice clean chart, and that's probably one of the most common DMs I get every single day. I shit you not, maybe 40 to 50 direct messages asking what my indicator settings are. So what I went ahead and did was I did a quick definition of the indicator for some of the newer cats, and then so on the left is the definition, on the right is what I use that indicator for. So first things first is volume. Quite common, we all know what that is, but just to hit the wave tops, it's the amount of a security or asset that changes hands over a period of time. So if you guys look at this candle right here, this is a 1 minute chart. In 1 minute, there was more sellers than buyers in that time frame, right? Now, the height of the volume bar is the amount of buyers and sellers. And on TradingView, if you hover over that candle, you'll get the exact number. I don't necessarily care about the exact number unless it's really high or really low. If it's within like a plus or minus 60% threshold, I really don't pay much attention to it. However, did I put it on here? This is used to confirm that trend line breaks or retests and wick trading setup. I primarily use that for confirmation. If we get a trend line break and we got a volume rush into that trend line break, we're making money, guys. Or if we're doing wick trading, which I'll cover here in a little bit, if those selling wick reversals or buying wick reversals really do come in, we know that momentum is going to go in the opposite direction, and we're going to go ahead and eat those freaking plays up. And if you guys hear me cuss, I apologize. I am a Marine by trade. I'm not cussing at y'all. I just say whatever comes into my mind first. Don't worry, I'm not talking down on y'all.
Spend a few minutes in the live trade room.
Oh yeah. Okay, there we go.
Listen, we're all traders here and adults. So cussing, we just know that's part of the thing. Throwing things at the TV, that happens too sometimes.
Yes, sir. Former correctional officer, you can't phase me. Is that a challenge, Dylan? Oh, there we go. Damn, arrow keys are working now. All right, so another one is going to be my exponential moving averages. Okay, so the definition, I know some of y'all might not use these or might not know exactly what these are, is it measures trend direction over a period of time and calculated with current data, volume and price data. Okay, so it's not just the last average price in the last 20 candles. They go off of the trend. They go off of the direction of the market with weighted volume. They go off of if you're a Sagittarius or if you like ketchup versus mustard on your damn burgers. I'm kidding. That's not what it is. But versus SMA, the calculations are more complex with its calculations. Obviously, we won't trigger trades off of these alone. We just want trend bias. Okay. So going off of here, point B is we want trend bias. So I got my two EMAs. We know with the price action or the momentum going up, we're expecting to see these moving averages going up. So in the last 13 candles, we have more of a aggressive approach. And on the 21 EMA, we have more of a conservative approach. That's all I look at the EMAs for. If you guys open up TradingView, look up Advent Trading, 3 moving averages or TEMA. That's the exact one I use. It's free. And I use the 13 and the 21. Now, another question I get is why do I use the 13 and the 21? I don't freaking know. Okay. I started off from 10 and 15. I moved to 12 and 16, 13 and 17. I've been back testing this for almost a year and a half now. And I think 13 and 21 is that sweet spot. I also use the 200 EMA. However, that's with a different strategy. That's more of like a large institutional VWAP like indicator I use. But if you look at point, what the fuck, A or B, I guess A2, 13 and 21 EMAs are used for the strategy. Make sure you confirm the settings. You want the lines to be thin with different colors from the SMA, okay? Because next we're going to add our SMA. You don't want to be able to confuse any of these freaking lines, okay? Take it from me. I've done this before. I confused my 21 EMA with my 20 SMA. I triggered a trade off of that, and I lost damn near $3,500 in less than a minute. Honestly, it was a freaking train wreck of a trade. That was on SPX as well, so you know how fast that moves. And here's another thing. This is probably the most important takeaway is look for early curvature to identify trend reversals. Like I said, it's indicator trading. A lot of people don't think that's quite sexy. However, when you see what I see, you'll be able to spot these reversals pretty soon. Let's see. We got about 19 guys in here. Go ahead and press the number 1 in chat once you are done with EMAs, or if you are good to continue to the next slide. Give you all a couple seconds to go ahead and add that to your chart here. Also, do we have any active duty or vets in here? I come across a lot of them. A lot of these guys hit me up. There was a Marine in 7th ESB. Actually, on the same basis. I'm from Camp Pendleton, California. Thanks for your service, Dylan. If all else fails, I might go to the Army. There's this Chiwo program I can hit up. Navy Reserve vet. Nice. Thank you for your service, Bridget. Yeah, I mean, I've been to NTC, man. Not taking any shots, but damn, the Army does need some they do need some people. They're setting out some really weird commercials. They're throwing Hail Marys. Wait for a couple more ones and then I'll hit the next slide. And if you guys end up getting caught in the rear with putting these strategies or indicators together, sorry, this PowerPoint is yours. I will send it to Chuck just in case you miss it. All right. I have my 20 SMA, okay? Simple moving averages. This is my golden indicator right here. This is my trigger indicator. If you guys ever hear me say that, or if you've ever heard me say blue below the 2, blue above the 2, this is what I'm talking about. So the definition is the average price over extended period of time excludes significant data. Okay, so what this line does is it moves with the price. So if we are right here, this blue line right here, it's going to look at the average amount of buyers and sellers or the average price 20 candles ago. And that's going to be the average or the rate this thing is going to be moving at. whatever period it is, whether it's the 1 minute or the 1 hour. Okay. Versus the EMA, this indicator only calculates based off of strictly the price of the past candles. Yeah, I just said that. Kind of jumped ahead there. Now, key takeaways. I use the 20 SMA only. Okay. Make sure the 20 SMA is thick and a color that stands out from the rest of your moving averages. Okay. That is freaking important. You don't want to confuse anything. If you guys look at my EMAs, I use 2 warm colors, right? My 20 SMA is a very thick, cool color. This indicator is my trigger indicator based off of entries, exits, and stops. Okay. I have that thing underlined because a lot of people ask, what should my stop loss be? Or, hey, Diesel, what's your stop loss? Half the time, I don't even know once I enter. I'll maybe do it on the highs of the past highs, right? Or lows of the past lows until I get my 20 SMA calibrated. But yeah, right off the rip, I really don't know what my stop loss would essentially be. You got to let that thing play out. So what I use is simple moving averages by stocks in box. If you go to settings, input is 20. And then you got to go to style because it's going to change colors. You have like 2 colors per SMA. Just change them both to the same color, the same thickness. And I'm gonna give you guys a couple more minutes with this one as well, and go ahead and type in the number 2 in chat while we do all that. Once over half of y'all get that thing set up, or if you're just ready to push, then I'll go to the next slide. We have a 10K hike Tuesday. Yeah, pretty action-packed weekend this weekend. We were working with Recon the other day. We were off our rib boats. If you all saw that video, it was pretty cool. We were shooting stingers off the side. We were messing with certain speeds, jumping ways with it. Now this drone thread is crazy. 2, I'm setting mine up on Thinkorswim. It's what I've been using. Yes, this does work with Thinkorswim. I also use Thinkorswim with this. Actually, I prefer if you use Thinkorswim. However, y'all probably didn't know this about me. I call and do TA 9 out of 10 trades off of my phone, off of my iPhone 14. I type on Discord, which is why you see a shit ton of typos. I do all this off of my phone at work. You know, I'm not some guy in some crazy ass NASA cockpit. I don't have 35 screens, hooked up to the wall. I don't have any assistants doing TA with me. It's just that's why I wanted to take this class. I only trade on my phone at work. Yeah, hopefully the strategy works with you, Dylan. It's solid. And what I like about this strategy here is over time you have some sort of instincts with it. I can open up a chart and within 30 seconds. You don't go by iPhone 4, do you? No, not the iPhone 4. I go by the iPhone 14. Yeah, I do go and trade off of my iPhone. Yeah, it's extremely hard. So I learned how to trade. I learned how to do everything off of my phone, which is why I consider it normal for me. But I've heard that a lot. A lot of people, they come from trading a 17 freaking screen setup to like, oh, I hate trading on the phone. But I mean, if I could bring my computer, my whole setup to work, I definitely would. You know what I mean? Wait for a couple more 2s and then we'll push. Gives me time to put a dip in. All right, we're pushing. Full chart layout. So y'all should have a chart that looks something like this, okay? Roughly. You have a couple of lines. All right. Don't worry about this red one. You'll see this in the examples. This is not required for the strategy. I'll just have it there. You got your volume down here. But yeah, you don't have anything crazy sexy on here. It doesn't look like Stephen Hawking's laptop, giving you all this freaking information. This is all I use right here. minus a couple trend lines that I may or may not draw out, but this is pretty much, what I see in a chart. This is, if you have this up, I can call you as many trades as I can see. Cool. So you're like, Diesel, why the fuck am I using these 3 indicators? Here's exactly why. Point A is we want to play reversals and continuations, find out where the price consolidation and price squeeze happens. Okay. That's the name of the game. We don't want to just hop in, mid-trend on any play. We want to be able to identify these early. Supply and demand zones help the system find these highs and lows, but they're not necessary. Example later. So I can teach you how to plot them. However, if you're quick, fast, and in a hurry, you don't need to be doing all that. C, anticipate momentum shift and continuation, enter on confirmation, take profits before reversals. And, for everybody who asks me how I should be trimming, I'm always going to recommend this. 10%, 20% runners, okay? 3 trims, 1 trade. Practice that until you have like a second instinct. And once that light bulb clicks, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about when it comes to holding contracts, right? Because I always try to fill 100 contracts on my trade. Most of the time, I will not get all 100 contracts filled. So, if I get a 76 contract fill, I will divide that by 3. At 10%, I'm selling that. 20%, I'm selling some more. And I'm going to hold runners. Do I think this thing is going to continue pushing or not? That's going to be totally up to you. However, you find great success with that. Delta is crossover zones of volatility yield highest profits of most profitable trades. Yeah, volatility and volume. Those are the 2 big V's you need. This will help you get out of bad trades early. And it's best when used trading SPX and SPY because that's what I use it for. I don't really have any back tests on NQ or any Forex. Now, I've had students in the past who've used this for Forex and stuff like that. They found great success. However, I'm not going to personally speak on it since I haven't done it. But I challenge you guys, do some research and find out what works for you. At this time, do I have any questions regarding my indicators and how I use indicators? I have a little watch list right here. Best times to trade right here. But I think the next class is going to be trend lines and how I use trend lines with indicators. If you have no questions and you're ready to push on to the next.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Does everybody know how to change the volume colors in Thinkorswim? The volume bar colors? Yeah, I think it's defaulted to just the volume, no matter if it's negative or positive volume, it's just a blue bar. Do you know how to change that, Diesel?
Regarding that, so it's a script. You can download a script for it. If you can't find it in settings, mine's default blue.
Yeah, mine too. That's why I was curious.
Let me go ahead and do some research on that because I've seen charts that do have different volume colors. Have you tried right click on your volume and see if there's any settings on there?
Yeah, I did. And I've been using Thinkorswim for 20 years, and I can't believe I can't figure it out.
You're telling me.
I like how your volume bars are set up with the red and the green. I like that.
It's super useful. However, I wouldn't say the color is too necessary. So if I were to look at a trade, if I were to enter a trade, I spend about maybe 5 seconds looking at volume.
Yeah.
Excellent question. Can you please back up to the EMA chart so I can get a screenshot when you have a moment, please? Absolutely. Let me know when you're good there, Terry.
I have another question.
Yeah.
About so during your postings, when you do these you post, I'm noticing a supply and demand indicator. Is that a trading view indicator or is it something else?
Yeah, it's a trading view indicator. I'm talking to a developer right now to create me a supply and demand and a diesel indicator, which is going to have all this packed into one package. I think it's gonna be for free. I'm just gonna throw it out to everybody. It's gonna be off of a it's gonna be off of a Trading View invite. So if you see any random Trading View links and it says diesel indicator, go ahead and click that bad boy. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Okay, and that will include the supply and demand that you have there.
So this one's still in testing.
Okay.
So yeah, I was gonna say I'm one of the guinea pigs that are using it. However, when there's official release, I'll definitely send it. I'll get with Chuck here, and because I think it's a paid indicator, right? And you do got to hook up the affiliates. So if Chuck would be down, maybe just have him push it out. It's a really nice indicator so far. A lot of kinks.
It definitely looks interesting from your next year posting. So
Yeah, I'll push it out. When you give me the go ahead and say, hey, push this out, I'll push it out, Diesel.
Easy day. I was gonna say there's a couple kinks, a couple weird kinks going on with it, but it's pretty powerful once it wants to be powerful, essentially. Alrighty, if we are good to push, go ahead and type the number 3 in the chat. Alrighty. So trends. It's where we get a little bit of astrology here. A lot of people think trend lines is just drawing shapes on charts, which I mean, yeah, you are drawing shapes, but it's not just there. So we do not rely on just indicators, right? We're not that crazy. We're still crazy though. We play price action, trend lines as well. For the 5-star setups, we need to be able to identify these patterns in conjunction with the indicators, okay? Because I'm not trading just trend lines. I'm not trading just indicators. They work hand in hand. Trend lines are not just shapes drawn on the chart. It's an aid that allows you to visually identify price action events such as expansion, contraction, consolidation, and correlating. All right. I do not plot them 100% of the time. However, it's a good practice that you do. So I think I plotted 10,000 rising wedges. All right. A lot of times I could just eyeball them nowadays. But really what it helps you do when you draw these lines out is you can identify that you're in a period of higher highs and higher lows, lower highs and lower lows. We're expanding or contracting. We have a liquid or a moving supply and demand. And that's really what it is, okay? You know where buyers are coming in, you know where sellers are coming in during that specific time frame. Now, you're not drawing 2 barriers and you're hoping that a price of a stock ends up in between these two. It's just showing you that, hey, once we change character here, we know that we're going to get a big move up or down out of this trend, okay? And that's typically what happens. And it's good to know as many trends as possible. However, if you're unfamiliar with patterns, stick to one until you master it and move on to the next, okay? Biggest thing I tell the folks, they're like, oh, how did you see that head and shoulders? How'd you see this? I'm like, hey, man, if you're new to trend lines, plot 100 rising wedges. That's the only one you want to focus on. Don't be a hero and try to learn 17 at once. Just rising wedges until you're good at it. Once you're good at it, go to bull flags, bear flags, pennants, okay? Because if you learn too much too fast, you're going to lose. You're going to data dump, all right? You're going to brain dump the stuff on the back end, okay? Favorite trends of plays are rising wedges and falling wedges, okay? My favorite ones, we get highs rejections or low rejections, and then we get a shit ton of volume into the opposite way. We trigger those trades, okay? Really what it comes down to. A couple examples, all right? I didn't go back and look at the finest examples. That was just the 1 day of trading. And those were trades that were really profitable for me. All right. Wicks and sticks. All right. Another very important part of the lesson. I know we blazed through the trend lines. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and draw some out in the live demonstration. Okay. Here's some examples of patterns. But here's another thing that's really, really important to learn is buying and selling wicks. Okay. Example of a buying wick is we can open right here. Price made its way all the way down here, shot up for a close up here. Okay. which leaves us a wick this freaking long, okay? You want to be able to identify those. A lot of people disregard wicks. We need all the information we can. A buying wick can also be red. We get an open right here. We get a push all the way down here and actually bounce back up for a close. Yeah, it's still a bearish candle, essentially. However, we want to know in this zone why it's getting rejected, okay? And when it's getting rejected. A buying wick can also have, a wick at the top, okay? But we see the size of this versus this. We'll consider this a buying wick, all right? Selling wicks, same thing. We get an open right here. They drove the price up. It gets smacked down for a close all the way right here. And then, yeah, same thing for here. We get an open, boom, close. Get an open. This is a bullish candle. Open, we go up and we get smacked down for a close way below that candle's high. So those are examples. And yeah, here's some trends. I'm sure we all know or we've heard of what trend lines are. You can Google trend line patterns. Like to play head and shoulders, like to play inverse head and shoulders. Love my wedges and pennants. Okay. Don't really play double tops and double bottoms too much unless it's a larger time frame. That's just me though. And we're pushing. Okay. So I have which is which. Candle number 1, is that a buying wick or a selling wick? Go ahead and type that out in chat. Number 1 right here. All right, we got a couple who says buying. Who thinks this is a selling candle? Yep. Going on to number 2. Is that a buying or selling wick? Yep, selling. Number 3. Don't worry about 4 and 5. I don't know why I did it like this. Number 3, is that a buying or a selling candle? Yep. What the hell? My notifications came up on my laptop. Number 4, is that a buying or a selling candle? Nice. And a number 5. There we go. So yeah, that was just one candle for each example. However, we're going to look for clusters of these candles, okay? We want to see a group of buying or a group of selling. All right, we're going to be able to identify multiple of those in a certain spot. Like right here, we want to characterize a group of candles and see if there's more buyers coming in or more selling rejection coming in, for the strategy. So for the fun stuff, okay? You guys learned buying and selling wicks. You guys learned trend lines. You guys learned indicators. Now you're asking, why the hell do I know all this? How am I going to use this? I'll show you. So when I identify a trade, you want to first identify a reversal or continuation point, okay? I wait for the up or down trend to play out or finish. Then I identify my patterns, and then I watch for my candles. More buying wicks, you're bullish, obviously, and then more selling wicks is bearish. If we have consolidations, I draw those support and resistance zones. So here's an example. So boom, we had an uptrend play out. Now we got some consolidation, right? Right here's where I start drawing my trend lines. I'm not hopping back into calls here. I'm not trying to make a trade work. All I'm doing right here is I'm drawing my support and resistance right here. Okay. So yeah, we got some buying wicks, but look at these nasty selling wicks. We got some clean rejections, and we're making lower highs. That's all I can see right now. So I got my trend lines drawn, right? Now you're going to prepare for decreasing volume in the direction of that trend. So if it's an uptrend and volume's high, I'm looking for the volume to start dropping low. Okay. If I think that it's going to reverse, if that's my sentiment, if I'm thinking it's going to reverse in an uptrend, right? I'm going to wait for that volume to start decreasing. I know I have a pen right here, right? Yeah. Okay. Wait for the volume to start decreasing while the price is going up. All right. Now, that's an early sign for a reversal. You'll now look for more selling wicks bearish or buying wicks for bullish, as well as the 20 SMA crossing above or below to enter. In this case, we're bearish. So what I mean by that is, it's probably the hardest part to explain, is we have an uptrend, right? The volume's up. Look at that volume decrease as it's in an uptrend, okay? That's warning sign number one. Number two is I got my selling wicks. We're starting to get clean rejections in this uptrend, okay? So we know that somebody doesn't like where this price is. All right, someone with lots of money or lots of people with little money, whatever the case may be, right? Now, as my trigger indicator, my 20 SMA, we're creeping up, boom, right? And we got these two other EMAs. It's gonna be doing something like this, okay? That's what I'm looking for. So I call it blue above the two. Blue above the two is bearish, all right? Blue below the two, so here's my 20 SMA, right? And then my other EMAs do something like this. That is bullish, okay? Blue below the two is bullish. All right, and it's gonna make a lot more sense the more you see this, but that's essentially what I'm saying right here. Now I put it in this picture right here. The 20 SMA crosses over the 13 and 21 EMA right here, which confirms bearish. We also have decreasing volume, boom. All right, and that's our trend. So now, let me clear that. So now, with the crossover and wicks, you want to enter puts on the first candle below the 20 SMA. That's the safest entry. Or in some cases on a trend line break. For calls, do the opposite. All right, do it above the 20 SMA or on that resistance break. Once the crossover happens, in some cases you might not get wicks beforehand. So, you know, sometimes you might not see the buying and selling wicks. Okay, that's totally fine. You still have 4 other indicators you're going off of. So right here. So boom, we got a crossover. All right. I was an open below the 20 SMA. I'm in puts right there. And you have so in 1 minute, look at that price change. So a lot of y'all might not get the same entries as I do, because this is exactly why. You know, I'm waiting patiently for this to happen. And once it does, boom. And look at that. Once we get that crossover, once we get that trend line break, look at the volume starting to pick back up in the opposite direction. That's good. And these are why I took those puts. And if you look at this graphic right here, I'll show you exactly what I was looking at and why I entered puts. It wasn't me just looking at one candle. It was actually looking at 4 different things, 5 different things almost. Is everybody tracking on that so far? I know that's a lot of stuff. But that's exactly why I entered. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Yes, I'm mostly on the 1 minute chart. This does work on other time frames as well, though. I've seen success with 15-minute trades, hourly trades. I do trade futures, so I've been doing overnight trades like this, and I've seen pretty good success. And yeah, you guys will see me talking shit on my alert channel. Excellent trade, guys, or beautiful trade, guys, because this is what happens after that. Look at this reversal. Whew. So wicks, crossover, volume breakout, all panned out successfully. Now you play the trade. Here's how I typically alert. So boom, there's my put. All right, price is doing all this in 1 minute. I get my 10%-ish. I go, hey, go ahead and trim here. Your new stop loss is break even, okay? That's just a universal stop loss, right? We come back up. I don't get shaken out because look at these selling wicks. Boom. All right, we get another drop. 35% trim number 2. I have about a third of my position left. That's where I'm messing around with the money. Let this thing play out. More selling wicks right here too. So I'm still confidently in this trade. Yeah, it's going back and forth, but look at these selling wicks. That buying wick might scare a lot of y'all out, but I've seen this happen too many times to where, that's just a liquidity sweep. That's buyers coming in thinking that that's the discount they're getting. However, my traditional stop loss will be a candle open above the 20 SMA if you're bearish, or a candle open below the SMA if you're bullish. Okay. So if you enter below the SMA, stop loss is above the SMA. If you enter above the SMA, stop loss is below the SMA. And in many cases, okay. A lot of y'all are going to come up with your own comfortable formula. I challenge y'all to do that, okay. But I mean, that's typically how it goes. That's typically 8 out of every 10 trades is going to be something based off of this mindset right here. And absolutely, traders. Oh, that's Chuck. That's Chuck. But yeah, it works out beautifully. So the star system, all right, because you're not going to see trades like this every single day. It happens about 3 or 4 times, right? However, we want to get as many trades as we can, or we want to be able to trigger on different scenarios. So I'll go for the star system. So a 2-star play is we get our moving average crossover, buying or selling wicks in that direction for a scalp. Okay. That's your quick, fast ball, run it up the gut, 3 or 4 candle trade. These plays are the riskiest, but they're playable. So your market opens are typically where your 2 stars come in, because your indicator is still calibrating, okay? Because it goes off of the last 20 candles. If you have a large gap up or down, that moving average still needs to catch up, okay? 3-star plays, we got our moving average crossover, we have wicks, and we have a trend line. So we do have a trend, we do have some sort of consolidation or chop that we can play. And yeah, typically that's your pre-news days. I freaking hate news. I'm probably not going to trade those anymore. But there's little volatility, which led to scalps. Reverses were there and easily callable. Okay, that's for the most part. Most of the trades you're going to find are 3-star plays, or coming in or out of lunch. That's what you're going to see. 4-star plays is you're coming from an up or down trend. There's consolidation. You have your MA crossover. You have your buying and selling wicks into your trend line break. You actually get your trend line break. Volume decreases into counter trend, and then once you enter, that volume increases into the trend you are calling. All right. That's the trade I just showed y'all here earlier. And 2-star trades are super risky. 3 or 4-star trades are recommended. Okay. For today during this class, I'm only going to show you 3 or 4-star examples. So here's trade example number 1. All right. I have it super zoomed out. I don't know why. We're coming from an uptrend, right? So picture the chart doing something like this. Now we're starting to consolidate, chop up. Now I'm looking for a break of that support and a crossover that moving average. That's an uptrend. We're starting to decrease volume. So I'm feeling good. All right. So we get our crossover right here. We only have 2 selling wicks. I don't know if y'all can see that. I just covered it up. 2 selling wicks, right? We got some rejections on that previous high. Boom. I would enter puts right here on this candle. So I'm going to draw a line coming from all the way over here. So if you follow that line up to that red candle, that's going to be my put entry. Now, my stop loss at this point will be an open above the 20 SMA in the opposite direction. So boom, we come up, we touch the 20 SMA. We're not opening above it. I'm still in there. And look what happens. And then my stop loss will be this first candle above the 20 SMA. Now I couldn't fit the whole screenshot, but as soon as we broke, that volume crept back up to the downside. All right, that's just confirmation right there. So it's gonna make sense to all of y'all. You know, a lot of y'all see me call an SPX play, and it's already up maybe 10% once you enter, because look at the change in price as soon as I alert. You know, I wish I could call it earlier. Sometimes I do, and I end up getting burnt. So I just stick to my guns. I play when I enter. But that's exactly what I see, folks. And that would be a nasty run. You know, a $2 move on SPY in a couple of minutes nets you easily 100% plus gains, depending on what your strike is. On SPX, that's typically a 150% play right there. And that's in, if you want to count the candles out, less than half an hour. Other trade examples, okay? We're playing head and shoulders, right? A lot of people will just play the actual chart style, right? I plot my head and shoulders. We got a pennant on the right shoulder. We got a crossover coming in right here. Don't really worry about the volume on this one too much because I have it super zoomed out. But look at that bad boy. So we get the crossover, selling with clusters, trend line and SMA break. I would enter either during this red candle because you got your crossovers and you got your trend line break, or you'd enter on this candle right here. Both are fine. All right, that'd be your entry zone for puts. And you're going all the way freaking down until probably like right here for your stop loss. I know I jam a lot of puts. I do call, you know, it's been a bear market for the last forever. You know, I'd say it's since COVID, but you know, a lot of put opportunities. But yeah, this also works for calls. So you got blue below the two, right? We got buying wicks creeping in, volumes creeping back in as well. So this wasn't coming from an up or down trend. This was just coming from consolidation. That also works in that scenario. But yeah, that would be my entry candle on number one right there. And my stop loss would be right here for calls. So blue below the two, you ride it up. You know, you're definitely taking profits, right? Like you definitely have a trimming point up here. And that would be your stop. Now, y'all seen all these examples, right? Oh, let me stretch out my arms real quick. Alrighty. So in this scenario, I'm going to let you guys call the shots on here. Coming from an uptrend. So boom, that's where price is coming in. Decreasing volume into the uptrend. We got some consolidation. I also see a bunch of selling wicks, right? I'm looking at my moving averages. I'm anticipating blue above the two soon. What do you guys think is going to happen here? Calls or puts? All right. Woodley says puts. Anthony says puts. Eugene also says puts. Dylan says puts. Who says calls? Oh, yeah. All right. Nice, nice. You guys all say puts. I like it. Let's see if you guys were right. I also say puts. Boom. Yep. So definitely confirmation. That's good. That's a good thing you said that, Willie. So we wouldn't enter back here in that last example, but it'd give you a bearish sentiment because look at those selling wicks. Look at that decreasing volume to the upside. We get MA crossover, increasing volume into your puts. So my entry would either be this candle. I'd get stopped out real freaking quick, but I'd go back in on this candle. And look what happens there with the strategy. Confirmation on the doji. That's a good question. So on this one right here, if I entered puts right here, I would either get stopped out or I'd be looking to stop out. However, you know, let's say we get an open here, you touch up here and fly all the way down here and chill. I might hold on to the trade. But if we're chilling up here and, you know, the candle's about to close, I might just go ahead and sell for a small loss. But I'm also looking at previous rejection points. So If I enter puts, we come up here and we're chilling, going back down. I might hold on to those plays. But if we end up going higher than those lows, definitely getting stopped out. Which it's actually happened to me quite a few times in the last week with this CPI data. I definitely got stopped out more times than I would have liked to admit, because, it's a super news-based market. If Jerome Powell sneezes, everybody reacts to the market, and that's stuff you can't really trade against. Even if you're going off of fundamental analysis, you're going off of smart money concepts or the ICT strategy. All that stuff is out of play when it comes to news, because that is strictly off of people reacting to the market. They're not really looking at the price and what a fair price would be for that ticker at that point, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's a good question. Bonus play right here. Might be looking at calls if we get blue below the 2 right there. So key takeaways. All right, before we go into the live prac app portion, is which will not always be there. However, always look for them. B is take profit. Gamble with runners, not your initial entry, okay? Don't freaking hold a 10 contract play hoping that thing goes to 100%, okay? You're going to get smoked. Try this with a paper portfolio before using real money, okay? I strongly recommend that. I want you guys to, this shouldn't be you really taking a magnifying glass to your charts. This should be like a second instinct to you, if that makes sense. Once you can call these plays, being 40 feet away from your computer without getting too nitty gritty with it, go and start using real money on there. Not all trades will be huge movers, okay? Volatility and volume, I say again, volatility and volume need to be present for this to work at full effect. All right. If you're trading in a flat market, you're going to get smoked, okay? Not trading is a move. Echo, when in a trade, the 20 SMA is your friend. Don't be afraid to dump losers early, and open above the 20 SMA in the opposite direction is a great stop loss, okay? Don't be afraid to put your pride aside and sell those things for a loss, okay? If you guys look at my recaps, my losses are no more than like 20-ish%. Only because I really play the 20 SMA how it should be played. F is have some freaking discipline, okay? But don't be afraid to take risk. If you scare yourself out of every damn trade that you see, you're not going to make any money because you're not freaking trading, right? It's a lot of the times, before I really started trading, was I saw my indicators line up, I saw my strategy play out, and then I started being my own devil's advocate. I'm like, okay, what if this doesn't break my upper trend line? Or what if this doesn't break supply? What if this doesn't do this? While I'm asking myself all these damn questions and I don't take the shot, I'm missing out on any of the money that could have been made. And then point golf is Diesel's a handsome motherfucker, okay? We all know that. I just had to remind y'all. But that is my last slide for the PowerPoint portion. At this time, before we go to the live prac app, do I have any questions regarding the strategy so far?
Hey, Diesel, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I was a little busy here at the beginning, so I do have the screenshots, but I use Thinkorswim. I'm having a problem finding getting these setups, man. So the lines, so the EMA, the exponential, I don't find those in the studies or strategies. I see exponential deviation bands. I guess I'm not set up the way you're set up, and I'm asking you, I guess, what you use within Thinkorswim to set that up.
Oh, yeah. So you should be able to look up EMAs and indicators. You should have exponential moving averages.
I think I must be in the wrong place then. So
let me open up.
I can always show you in the live trade room if you can't figure it out during his class today,
Yeah, that's fine. That'd work great, Shiner. Appreciate it, man.
But the easiest way, real quick, is if you go to studies, the Beaker studies.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
And then you type EXP, start typing exponential. And then you'll see the choices, and then you'll see you'll see the moving average exponential pop up.
Yep.
You see it?
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
And then you
So-
go, and then you go into the gear, the settings gear, and adjust length.
Okay. So where would you find length two at? Like,
Well, you have to create a whole new one. Thinkorswim doesn't give you that option to put two lengths.
okay. All right. So you just add two of them in there.
Yeah, you got to make two of them, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I was kind of in and out at the beginning of this, so
Oh no, yeah, no worries, no
I
worries.
missed part of that. Appreciate it.
Do we have any other questions before we hop into the prac app portion? If you guys want to go ahead and take a smoke and piss break, I'll give you all about 5 mics. Let y'all stretch your legs out. I know I've been running my mouth for almost an hour already. It's really flying by. If you need me to go back to a different slide so you can copy something down, also, I mean, awesome. My bad. Had my Cuban friend made some tacos yesterday. Tell you what, things will slap your ass clean off. I don't know what the meat's called. I don't even want to attempt to recreate what the word was pronounced. But yeah, that stuff was pretty damn good. All right, and if you guys are back at your computer desk or on your phone, go ahead and type the number 5. That way I know you guys are here. No rush though. If y'all got to smoke and piss, do your thing. A little bit more background about myself. So yes, I'm a lad gunner. I'm a squad leader by trade. I also carry a billet MOS. I'm a combat marksmanship instructor trainer. So I teach people how to teach people how to teach people how to shoot. And that's going to be multi-weapon systems. So your typical M16, M4, M27 IARs. I teach you how to use your sidearms, which is going to be your M9 Beretta or M18s. I also run ranges, 50 cal 240s. Don't really use 249s, which I wish we did. Those things are so badass when they want to work. The Mark 19s, but Marine Corps is getting pretty broke. We can't really afford the Mark 19 ranges and our TNR for our deployment section. We don't really necessarily need those. It's more of a weapons company thing. But y'all use M18s? Yep. We actually just got those implemented 2021. I think they're real nice. Versus the M9 Berettas, I got little freaking hamster mittens for hands. Nice. What I don't like about the M18s is that freaking rear sight likes to fall off after you shoot, so many rounds. So I'm really pushing my supply guys to get us some red dots and the armors. However, I don't think the Marine Corps authorizes them, or you have to be in a special operations secret squirrel unit, whatever the hell. But yeah, I feel like that's the biggest yep. They're good. I mean, if I was General Diesel, with the price that these things cost and the effectiveness, I think they're nice weapons. Not a big fan of the 3D printed receiver though. It's a little too light, so you got a top heavy weapon system. If you're doing paired shots, past 20 meters, it's going to be a little bit more challenging holding a group, just because those follow-up shots, you got to get back on target. And when you shoot, no matter how much control you have over the weapon, it's going to move. I got told I can't use the Mark 19. I blew up a shed in the heck of a breath. Oh man. That'd be pretty fun. Imagine being the RSO for that range.
Well, give a little more substance on it. So we were coming back from a mission, right?
Yeah.
And we stopped at the berms and we were looking, there's nothing but desert out there. And the PSG said, "Hey, Doc," because I'm a combat medic. He's like, "You want some target practice on the Mark 19?" I said, "Hell yeah." And so I hopped on there and I didn't realize that the butterfly trigger was so sensitive. And I just pushed it down and it lobbed out like 8 grenades right away. And I was like, "Oh crap." And then all of a sudden, the spotter looked in his binos and was like, "Hey, Doc, I think you blew up that shed out there." And he zoned in on it. And the PSG was like, "All right, guys, we're about to move out. Let's go." And he was pissed.
Such a cool sound when you wanted to hear that sound, but if you're just hit, you're getting comfortable with the weapon system. You hear all foom, 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 foom. Yeah, I'd pucker up a little bit too. Not gonna lie.
Well, yeah, and because I was expecting it to have a little bit of resistance with the butterfly trigger. I carried the M4 and the M9. So I wasn't used to the trigger, but boy, I pushed down on that and it was like, and I was like, "Oh."
That's hilarious.
Fun times.
I like Mark 19s, except for the damn maintenance on them, man. And if you pull that trigger plate off and them sonic rings come out, them freaking little dumbass rings, like when Sonic gets hit by something in the old video games, your armor is gonna be pissed at you.
Yeah. Good times, man. I miss those times.
Yeah, like I'm reluctant to get out. I've been in for going on 7 years now. I'm looking at staff sergeant. It's looking real good, Marine Corps career wise. However, it's just, doing this, man. I make my military paycheck in a day sometimes.
Yeah. I'm about there, man. I got the light is on at the end of the tunnel. I got about two and a half left. And, it's one of those good story and bad stories. It's like, man, I can't wait to get out, but it's like, man, I miss having so much fun as a young soldier, just doing stupid stuff.
Yes, sir. Best time I never want to have again. That's what I say.
Yep. All right, I'll let you get back reminiscing down the old trail.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could talk about this all day, man. But all right, guys, let's get into our live practical application piece. All right. I'm gonna talk through what's happening. I clicked a random spot. All right. We got blue below the 2, those are good for puts. All right. But let's say that you woke up at 0950. You're still glossy-eyed, don't know what the hell's going on in the world right now. Just woke up, hitting the charts, and something like this happens, okay? So this is it's a playback feature. I wish we had like live features going on right now, but really not that many opportunities. It's the weekend, but see what we got going on here. So these puts are playing out. If you took these puts, congratulations, you're printing. All right. Wouldn't necessarily take calls right there, but you could. All right, those will definitely net you a couple pennies. But here's what I like to see. We start getting a rising wedge action, okay? Something like this. Oh, shit. I'll probably start off back here. Now, if I'm drawing a pennant play like this, I'm not really focused on my resistance playing out too much, only because it's a 3-candle touch. But boom, look what happens there. Might be a good little put. Volume is super low. Wouldn't play just yet. Like I said, you want to play that trend line break or below the 20 SMA, because that's what happens. If you don't wait for those two things to happen right there, you're going to get faked out. Got to have discipline. That's point F right there. However, I'm still looking at puts. I'm liking puts. Just not right now. Now I'm liking puts. Now in the real world, I'll probably adjust my trend lines to something like this. We've got our crossover, selling wicks, break of the trend line. I'm in puts right there. So this is exactly how I do it. I'm looking at puts. And as you guys know, I already got burned so far. However, don't be afraid to average down. You're already pretty. You're at plus 30% or something odd like that. So that'd be your stop loss. Say quick scalp. But I'm still liking puts. A lot of rejections coming on up here. A lot of selling wicks coming in. Boom. Puts right there on this candle right here. That second one. Look at all those damn selling wicks creeping back in. I'm going to delete that circle. I'm still in. I'm still in. I'm still in. We didn't get a break above in the opposite direction. Look at that. Playing out. And I'd probably trim right here. You know, if we get a nasty bounce back up, I'd probably be another trimming candle because a lot of these times on those vine wicks, it follows through to the upside. So 2 trims in 1 candle, don't be afraid to do that, especially if you're up in profits. If you're in from back here or right here on this candle that I showed you. All right, definitely, you know, you're in profits either way. You get a 70% in gains, you get a pullback to 40%. Don't kick yourself in the ass because you once had 70%. You're still at 40 damn percent. All right. A lot of people like to be like, oh, it went to 70% once. Let me wait for it to get back to 70%. Don't have that fucking mindset, okay? I promise you that's going to burn the shit out of you. Don't mean to cuss there, but don't have that mindset. But I'd still be in the trade in a real world scenario because that's why. We didn't go back above our 20 SMA. We got selling wicks creeping back in. Still confident, like in the selling wicks here. Volume's picking up to the downside as well. Look at that. Really picking up. And we're getting into power hour. We're balls deep in power hour right now. And if we got follow through into power hour, we know that we're going to have a lot more downside to come. I'd trim probably back here a little bit too. That'd be fully out about right here. Look at that, from 409, 412 to 409. You know, these are damn good trades, and we called that back here. All right. Yeah, you probably got shaken out of the first entry, right? Or you're looking at an average down point because you still got that volume, right? This damn volume is being a menace to me. But essentially, yeah. We got our we'll call it an uptrend, decreasing volume down here, right? That's where our entries are. We got our MA crossovers. We got our selling wicks back here. All right. I entered on the wrong selling wick. That's fine. But we get a snapback. All right. Or you're willing to expand your stop loss because look at these selling wicks. We get a break below our 20 SMA. That's a golden zone to start pulling the trigger on them damn puts. All right. You don't know that any of this happened, right? We didn't know that. But even back here, you know, that's a lot of bearish sentiment for you to enter those trades. Don't you want your EMAs to fan out before entry? Yes. So I'm going to show you guys, you know, I'm going to go back here a little bit because that's a good question. Now, a lot of the times when you get that crossover, a lot of people enter as soon as it crosses over. A lot of people enter, you know, a candle or two after the crossover. So right here on this entry, we just crossed over the top right there. All right, that's an early entry. However, you could perfectly wait for this candle right here and get some more space between your 13 and 21 EMAs and your 20 SMA. These 2 candles are perfectly fine. I'd say that this candle was fine as well. Now, if you're using this strategy I wouldn't chase puts anything after this. Okay. If you're not in within these 3 candles, I recommend not getting in after this, even though, yeah, it's still played out. A lot of times you're not going to know that they play out. Or let's say we got a crossover, we got our selling wicks. All right. Looking at this candle might scare me out if I'm looking for entries. That's only why. Or if you entered on one of these candles, you'd be up 10, 20% back here already if you took an entry right here. That's the only reason why I say that. Does that answer your question, Woodley? I know I kind of went off on a tangent there. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Just to add a little bit of that quick, I have a question.
Yep.
So there's a doji a little more close to noon time. Wouldn't that be kind of a better entry? Looking at the current trend, if you got a little to the right,
This one right here?
more to the right, no, all the way to the right,
Oh, this one right here?
around 12. So there's a kind of a red doji, kind of
Oh,
thumb there.
this one right here?
Thumb. Yeah, that one.
That is an enterable candle. However, going with the strategy, I'm telling you to look at 4 different things. I would say that, yes, this is a really good entry for puts. However, with the strategy that I've taught so far, I wouldn't necessarily enter on that. But I agree with you that that's a solid entry because that is right when the drop happens. And that's a nasty sound look. We do get our crossovers, yes. However, that's about the extent of it. The volume is still.
Well, looking at that doji, you also got selling candles before it too.
Yep. So this is a really good
That's
sentiment right
additional
here.
confirmation.
However, in a real world scenario, yeah, I'd probably be in the trade already back here. But yeah, that's a real good question. And if you have that sort of bandwidth, if you have them left and right set, and that, hey, this trend is playing out already, I might be a little bit late to the party, yeah, but this is still bearish as hell. Enter it. Like if we go to point, golf is have discipline but take the risk. Absolutely. Or if you're feeling ballsy, if you enter back here, right, you can average up right there and double down on your position. So that doji would be a 2-star based off of your strategy, but your method is at least giving us more. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Dylan. That's the name of the game right here is, multiple confirmations in which direction you're trying to trade. I go off of 4 or 5 different indicators. I want all 4 or 5 to happen in a specific zone. However, yeah, going back to this doji, it's a solid entry. And it actually would be a 2-star play because we got our MA crossover. There's no trend line to play off of, but we do got volume confirmation. So volume is rising into the downside off of that doji. Not specifically the doji, but I'd say it's more so off of this candle right here. But yeah, like this would be a good market open play right here. If we're looking at selling wicks. But yeah, excellent. Let me redo the replay feature. Scroll back somewhere random. We'll do it right here. Good market open play right here. So this was on Valentine's Day. I'm glad I cleared my chart because we did play this one. So 1,000,000 candles a minute. I want you guys to tell me calls or puts whenever you see it happen, okay? I should probably slow it down a little bit. You're doing calls right here or calls back here? I'm actually liking puts up here. Because look at those selling wicks. Oh, okay, back there, yeah, solid calls. Got a lot of drama happening with that candle. Volume is not that sexy, but we'll take it. Here's a zone I'm liking. I'll tell you when I enter. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. I'm not in just yet. Not in just yet. got our crossover. Looking at puts. I'm in puts right there. I like puts. All right, tell me when to stop out of this trade. That's a good, I'm taking profit right there. That's a good trim. Already ready to trim again. Probably take some more right there.
As soon as I see that green candle, I'm taking.
The ejectocito button. Coming from 414 to 410, I was gonna say you're at a couple 100%. Y'all are high as hell if you're not taking profits already. All right, everybody's already out. Nice, nice. I'm still in, baby. I still got a death grip on these. That might be a runner phase right there. Yep. Oh, definitely playing with runners right here. That's my stop loss. So entry, trim. That's a stop right there. Might be good for calls. Might be a risky call. I might call right there on that stop loss candle. Absolutely. And if you use this strategy, you can take 10% scalps. Can you explain the runner's play for me? Absolutely. Above the 20 all out? Yes, sir. That's the eject seat button. So runners right here. So my entry right here, I got, we'll call it 100 contracts. We'll do 100. Now, if we get our 10%, okay, if we get 10 to 15%, I'm trimming 33 of those, a third of my position. So I'm selling 33 right there. I should have like 67 left. Now, once we get to more profit, now we're at maybe 30, 40%. I'm selling 33 more. Now I only have 34 contracts left. With those contracts, this can go all the way back to break even, and I'll still have money. I'll still be profitable on the play, but I'm risking it because I think it could go down even more, or I'm expecting it to go down even more without being fully into that position. So if we chop down right here, I might sell 30 more, and I'll just have 4 left. So I have 4 contracts left. I'm playing with those because right now you're at a couple 100%, right? We're going to see what it does. This ended up getting burnt. I just sell those for plus, what, 45%-ish? I'm still in profits. Instead of holding all 100 contracts, let's say we get a nasty bounce right here, and now you're selling all of those for a loss rather than taking any sort of profit. Does that make sense, Woodley? Explain the break even. So yeah, absolutely. So if I'm at my first trimming point right here, I sell 33 contracts. I should have 66 left. If I'm doing that math right? Now, no matter what, I'm in profits. If we get back to our entry, I'm selling the rest because I still have a profit on those 33. Now, if I end up selling for a loss, on those, depending on how bad the loss is, now I'm still taking an overall loss on my initial entry. And that winning trade is now a losing trade. Depending on how much it goes up, you might be getting your ass kicked on this trade. Does that answer your question, Emily?
So you're saying to sell when you break even, when you go back to your entry price?
Yes, that's always a good stop loss.
Okay.
Because you're either washing your hands clean of the trade. It might have been good at one point, like, yeah, you had profit, but going back to break even, you can sell it and wait for another entry. Now, if you really are bearish and it goes back to break even, and it goes slightly below break even, right? Or it's at a slight loss. Depending on how you want to play the strategy, yeah, you can hold on to it for a little bit longer. However, if you're minus 15%, minus 20, I would I would highly recommend just selling for a loss and waiting for that re-entry. Because a lot of people get married to the stock or they get married to the play. They're like, oh, I swear it's going down. I swear it's going down. I'm just going to hold on to it until chow. I'm going to hold on to it until EOD. And all that stuff happens and they're still in a loss. They ended up, instead of taking a 10% loss, they're at now a 60 to 70% loss. And I see that happen a lot. And I've done that a lot. Back when I was learning or how to manage trades, because your entry is only 1/3 of the trade. You can have the best entry in the world, but if you cannot manage your trade, you're still going to end up losing money. Managing a trade, I think, is just as important as entering a trade. That's just all risk management, predetermined risk. That's why I give you this really strict 20 SMA rule, because let's say you enter puts right here and it comes back up. As soon as it enters above that 20 SMA, sell it. Okay, because you'll still be at a small loss, but it's better than holding it until all the way up here, some crazy stuff before you start regretting that trade. So yeah, if you break even and you get an SMA reverse crossover, if you ignore, don't ignore both of those. Ignore break even, sure, but if that 20 SMA is counter crossed, definitely get out of there.
Did you have to practice a lot to get to that level of discipline, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was gonna
Had
say
that mindset.
I
Yeah.
practiced for months, brother. When futures opened on Sundays, I did nothing but watch charts and take trades in my head. I've done this for months, man. I still do it. Once futures opens back up, or tomorrow after the holiday, you bet your ass I'm going to be watching this chart, just taking trades in my head, over and over and over again.
I think they're going to be open for a little bit tonight, aren't they?
They should.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I have 7 PA accounts. I have 2 of them that are in the green already. I might get another one in. Might get another rep, depending on what the volume's looking like. Another really good crossover right here. Look at that. I'd say this is a 4-star setup right here. Don't know why my lines are red, but okay. We have a market open into a falling wedge. Where can you see futures? You can see them on TradingView if you're subscribed to CME Group. We have a nice falling wedge into market open into a gap down. So, the gap fill prophecy, everybody likes that. But when do you enter on these gap fills? So boom, wedge playing out. All right. We got higher lows into a buying wick right here. I'm liking that. We got MA crossovers. That's good for calls right here. Trendline break, you can average up on calls. And my stop loss would be all the way right here. So from a 393 entry to a 397-ish exit in one day, I'm talking insane amounts of profits. Or if you average up, so you strictly use 1 minute time frame. What about 3 minutes for day trades? Yeah, you can also do 3 minutes. I can show you MA crossovers here. So I do like that question. So if you use a 3-minute chart, you want your trade to at least play for 3 minutes. I like the fast running gun style. However, look at this. You can also call these crossovers on the 3-minute. Now they're not going to be as aggressive. Like you see how flatlined all the charts are. It's totally fine. You still take trades right here. You still take puts right there if you want to do an end of day play. You still take calls right here. I mean, that's a nasty call right there if you end up doing it. We got a lot of selling wicks. It looks like it's going to be a reversal right here, but know, if you hold through, man, you have a strong chin, you definitely get a paycheck from that. Yeah, this is on the 3-minute. Puts look good right here. I agree with those. I agree with calls right here as well. I also agree with puts up here. And definitely agree with puts right here. Look at these selling wicks. That's a freaking, there's a 7-star play, man. That's a 7-star play. Look at that shit. And I mean, if you're doing other fundamental analysis, this is a good either stop loss or a double down point right here. And you can see how many times in a day this stuff happens. I mean, multiple times a day. Good calls right there as well. Go to the 30-minute. Got a lot of drama on the 30-minute. Actually, I called somebody in TWR. What is going on with my mouse? Holy shit.
Yeah, the longer the time frame you use, the more patience you gotta be too.
Oh yeah. And with options, especially trading. Oh, okay. Actually, that's a good thing you brought up. If you're on higher time frames, you're not trading 0 DTEs. All right. Please don't freaking do that, because that IV crush is gonna spank you. All right. If I'm trading a 30-minute or hourly, trust me, I've done it. I've been to that party, and it fucking sucks, man. If I'm trading 30 minutes to an hour, I'm gonna trade a couple days out. All right, I'm gonna look at some swings, because look at these puts right here. We got volume and crossover. We still got everything happening. I'm liking puts right here in this zone in one of these two candles. Look at all the crazy shit happens before you see profit. Now, if you're trading 0 TTEs, you're gonna get smoked. But now, if you're trading 2 to 3 DTEs, you know, you're trying to sell around this time frame, you're chilling. It definitely works. I don't do it personally because I do not have the patience. I have discipline, but I have no patience. But yeah, on the 30-minute, what's like my third favorite time frame. Boom. You got good puts right there. You got good calls right here. More good puts right there. I don't know what these arrows are, but I mean, look, I beat the shit out of the SPY. Look at all these trend lines. You can see I have a really good time trading SPY. There we go. I took screenshots of some of the trades I took in the past. This was March of last year. Good calls right here. Look at this run up. I don't know why I didn't have my entries down, but I promise you I entered on this bear pennant. I mean, this bull pennant somewhere around here for good swings. This is really good bearish play. I was in back here. Actually, I have my entry right there. My entry was on that buying wick. A little late to the party. I should have entered on this green candle, but still, these puts really played out. Same here for puts. I think I erased my entry. I think I entered somewhere during this break. Then I did enter calls. Back when I was getting into swing trading, this was February last year. Damn, almost a year ago. Right here. Those are my calls. But yeah, nowadays I strictly use the 1 minute. I like the quick, fast money. I'm a busy guy. However, you know, once I get out, I don't know what I'm going to do exactly when I get out with diesel alerts, you know, that project, but definitely going to do this full time. Might get into swings. Might have multiple ports for that. Really good calls right here on the 30-minute. That's a freaking 4-star play if I've ever seen it. And your entries would be either right here or right here. You hold that for a couple of days, you're chilling. Let that bad boy simmer. So if you guys are on your computers and you have TradingView open, go ahead and press the number 7 in chat. Or if you have Thinkorswim open, that's fine as well. Oh man, y'all are just watching me. Okay, let me get a volunteer. Let me get one volunteer to hop on TradingView and show me, it doesn't matter which time frame, what a bullish setup would look like. You can use any ticker you'd like. I recommend SPY, but it works for NQ, it works for NVIDIA, Amazon, all that good stuff. Then let me get another volunteer to drop a screenshot of a bearish setup. You can just take a screenshot, you know, if this is a good bearish setup. Just take a quick little flick of this bad boy right here, because that's a really good bearish setup on the 1 minute. And then while y'all do that, does anybody have any last minute questions regarding this class and strategy? Because as far as the teaching portion goes, I'm pretty much done. I've covered everything that was intended for the class. We were a little bit early, a tad bit.
Man, it's a hell of a lot of information, though.
I appreciate that. I like to pack as much as I can into a digestible time frame, you know.
I've been doing this over 36 years, and I'm an old school trader. I've been setting my ways, and I will say I have learned something today.
I appreciate that. Actually, going off of that, who else learned something new today? You just go ahead and say me in the chat. Awesome. That's good to hear. That's the goal. This is stuff you can't.
I'm sure everybody will say they learned something new. And yes, the recording, you guys will get the recording as soon as the video is processed, and the PowerPoint once Diesel sends that to me.
Oh, let me go ahead and do that right now for you. I'm gonna send it to your Discord.
Okay.
Profile. I have that in documents.
And then what I'll do is I'll just copy the link and put it on the email when we send out the information. Also, hey Diesel, will you will you push your email to me as well in the direct message so that I can push you your MP4 copy of this?
Oh, of course. Yeah, we'll do.
All right, thank you.
Where in the hell is this PDF? What the hell? Oh, there it is.
I'm going to implement some of this in the live trade room Tuesday.
That's awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was gonna say definitely keep me updated on that. Oh damn, the chat went squarely on me.
Have you tried this strategy on other equities besides SPY?
Yes, absolutely. I use it on
SPX?
NQ a lot. Really getting into futures trading. I'm gonna start alerting futures here pretty soon. But yeah, works well on futures.
Oh yeah, you can make a lot of money in NQ.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, like NQ, I mean, you definitely need a freaking pack of Newports next to you.
You ever trade gasoline?
No. US oil is the next one.
You talk about making a lot of money on just a 20-cent move.
Shit, I might have to get up in there. But yeah, it's
but you can lose a lot of money in a 20-cent move too.
We got puts baby from Terry Howland. I like it. Blue above the 2. That's your nice and sweet Thinkorswim setup. I've been following your alerts. Hit TWR. I've been using your style base, and you provided screenshots from your bot. I appreciate that, Anthony, and hopefully that works out well for you. You know, I'm not one of those dudes who gatekeep knowledge. You know what I mean? I don't have no secret formula. If you guys can interpret what I say to you, hopefully y'all can make money. You're all calling me plays one day. Great job, Daisy. Did great. I appreciate you, Carl. Great strategy. Sheba was right. I appreciate you, Emily. Yeah, Sheba's really awesome. She's an example of the squeaky wheel gets the grease, if that's terminology you heard before. She's she's talked to me quite a few occasions, really broke it down for her, and she was awesome. She's grown a lot since I've taught her a few months ago.
I think she's even referred to you as her trading boyfriend.
Oh man, I'm blushing. She's gonna have to fight this. Her name is Trisha. I'm also her trading boyfriend. We'll get them. I'll arrange a fight between them two.
Feet
Feet
pics
pics
on the way. God dang. Fetish.com. I just found out about that the other day. I was like, what the heck am I looking at?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna put my boys on that. I got a hip pocket. I gotta do some site selection criteria. I'm gonna tell them to go to fetch.com for references. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I say some pretty outlandish shit in my channel. I like to keep it entertaining. I tell my girlfriend's boyfriend to hop in calls when I do. Move that volume a little bit. Can I go over how I set up my EMA indicators one more time? Absolutely. So, boom. I got two colors, right? I keep them nice and thin. The opacity, it doesn't really matter too much. I leave that thing at 65%. For inputs, I have a 13, I have a 21, and then 200. I just have that there. But yeah, 13 and 21. And that is by Advent Trading. Let me go ahead and hop open this bad boy right here. Man, what the hell? How about the script? Be something like this. And yeah, I like Thinkorswim, but chart a little bit better. However, when I drop screenshots and all that, I use TradingView. Then my SMA, same thing. I have all these motherfuckers turned off. You don't need 10 of them. You got to be a psychopath to use all 10 of those. And I make that thing the third thickness. I have a bright color for both colors. What else we got, gang? We have any more questions? It could be anything. It could be about myself. It could be about other trading strategies. It could be other stuff. And I'm a pretty open book. I do get tons of direct messages. I try to get to all of them. I still have 76 I have to respond to. That's a hassle in itself. That's a break off. I think every single alert I send, I get about 10 to 20 DMs. And let's see. I think it's this bad boy right here. Speaking of which, the Tinder. I think you guys like the Tinder segment where I go diesel mode on Tinder. A lot of people think that is hilarious. By the time they get set up the trade, once you send your signal, you already trade. Yeah, I was gonna say it's I kind of kick myself in the ass a little bit. I wish I can send it as fast as possible, but you see what happens when that crossover happens. That price starts moving pretty quick, and I got them little sausage fingers.
That's the same problem in the live trade room. I mean, when you're trading off the 1 minute, they can be so fast. I don't even have time to post in my trade alert.
Yeah, they move quick. If I could make it earlier, I would, but I've tried alerting early and I get smoked myself. What's your mindset when having multiple contracts in the trade versus one contract? So that's a good question, Avian. I don't have a different mindset. If I'm getting scared trading multiple contracts, then I shouldn't be trading multiple contracts in that time. You should have that same feel good feeling. You shouldn't flinch when you press that buy order. And if you can't do 10 contracts, move it back to 5. You know, on futures, I was trading 10 contracts on a 50K account, and I'm like, holy shit, man, that is bad to go. You know, I do not want to take a loss if these go the wrong way. Now, if I have 3 contracts, I can let them sing a little bit. But is it too late to enter after that though? If you're asking me personally, yes. Okay, if it's up like 10-ish%, don't enter, because my stop loss would be break even, and that would be minus 10% for you. However, with you knowing this strategy now and my mindset in a trade, that's definitely up to you, brother. If you think that it's going to go down more based off of, you know, how I entered on these trades here, then yeah, go ahead, man. Because I like to call those trades your trades. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, I took Diesel's trades," or "I took Diesel's alerts." I'm like, yeah, brother, but it's actually your trade. You pulled the trigger, man. You managed the trade. It's your money. It goes in your bank account. You know what I mean? Definitely take ownership of stuff like that. The alert should always be used as a great idea. I like that.
I just added that on there because if people are following you, you know, most likely you're looking at SPY. So they should probably be looking at SPY too. And when they see the alert, they can see what you're seeing. And now having your strategy, like you just alluded to, know the mindset behind it. And so they can make that trade.
Yes, sir. Also, another thing is I do trade a lot. Like a lot of you guys are asking why I trade SPX now. The freaking tax benefits. All right. So SPY, that's typical capital gains. You get taxed for 100% of those capital gains. If you trade SPX, you're only taxed 60% of what you make. Also, there is no hand wash rule or wash sale rule. So I'm going to sound like an idiot when I explain wash sale rule. Yeah, of course. I'm watching DXY. I'm watching Bitcoin. I don't really put too much thought into Bitcoin, but yeah, you definitely got to be on your A game with SPX because that's the definition of IV Crush Central. You're not really looking at the 13 and the 20. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not. So 13 and 21 is going to cross 1,000,000 times a day, especially on your EMAs. I don't watch that. I just want to make sure that the average price creates an imbalance above your exponential moving averages. So the average price is the catalyst. It's like, oh shit, we're moving too far up too fast. We need to correct ourselves. You know, in simpler terms. Because right here, man, this is a happy market right here. This is what everybody likes to do. Once you start shooting up and your 20 SMA starts beating these guys in a race, there's a correction that needs to happen. I'd say 60% of the time. I'm not going to say every time, but once that correction happens, right, we get that crossover. All right. Now we start getting into corrections, market corrections. That means they're digesting that move. It's going to come back down. We just don't know how much. Same thing. SMA is starting to get a little racy again against your exponential moving averages. We need another correction. Boom, it gets slammed down. And it's same thing for calls. You know, hey, we might have overcorrected. We need to get back into that sweet spot. Calls right here. Oh, we're overcorrecting our overcorrection. Boom. All right. That's how the market works. You know, a lot of disagreements going on. You know, in this candle, there was 82,000 people, not people, but 82,000 shares going back and forth. And when you get the New York Stock Exchange, you get foreign assets trading this, you get your retail traders. No, that's a lot of people who need to agree, which they'll never will in one time. But yeah, if we're looking at NQ, you know, this is my multi-day time frame. I might play a freaking huge play on NQ here soon. Now, if we come back and retest these lows, I might go into longs. If I hold that motherfucker from 242 to 800, and the 800 point or 600 point move would be ridiculous, but I'll do it. Fuck it. Especially if I'm trading with money that's not mine. Risk free. Shit. But yeah, it introduces a new approach to trading. You know, I like stuff like that. It's real interesting.
When it comes to risk management, I know you mentioned you try to fill in 100 contracts, but usually what's the percentage of your account size that you usually
Oh
use for
man,
these type of
so it's
trades?
I'd say nowadays it's like 2%, maybe less than that. So I could definitely go more than 100 contracts. Don't get me wrong. It's just, you know, I consider myself lucky if I can get that contract filled, because you know how fast that price moves on your SMA breaks on the 1 minute. I mean, it's a lot of the times I don't even get the fill that I want. So I don't really try to expand that.
Yeah, that's the same with SPX sometimes.
Yep. So what I do is if it's really deep in profits, before that pullback happens, I click cancel order. I chill with the 30 or 40 that I might have, and then I let that thing play out. Now, what you
Okay.
don't want to do is put in an order for 100 contracts, have it go in profits, go back to break even, fills the rest of your contracts, and then goes in the opposite direction. I've done that shit a couple times and almost drop kicked my phone. That's
Yeah, it
probably
has
the most
happened to me as
frustrating.
well. So. Well, yeah, it's a good lesson though.
Oh yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. And yeah, I'm glad you guys took something away from this. You know, I know some of y'all might have had questions on how I trade, or like, oh, this guy moves the market. You know, you guys have your conspiracy theories, but yeah, man, this is pretty much 80% of my trade style right here. Sometimes I just play candlesticks. Sometimes I'll play a 200 MA, you know, crossover play, which is, you know, how big banks trade. It's old school. Like, hey, that's our bouncing point. So you guys can take calls right here until we get a break below. Then you guys can go into puts, take puts on the 200 MA. And that's like the old school, you know, missionary style. It still works. I still like to call trades like that as well. But yeah, man, this strategy was all found out by, you know, myself. I watched a couple of YouTube videos on how to use these indicators. Then you put it all together, man, and you know, this is what works out for me. You know, you can't really look up on YouTube and be like, hey, how do you trade MA crossover zones? Doesn't work out too much like that. But all right, I'm gonna stick around for a couple more minutes. Chuck, they're all yours, man. If you guys have any last minute questions, but I think that concludes the lesson for today.
Chucky.
What's that? I'm sorry. My bad. What's going on?
I think that concludes the class, brother. They're all yours. If you want to pass any last minute word, or you know, anything that's going on with the server or anything, but I'm gonna stick around for any last minute questions. But that's it on my end, brother.
All right. Hey, appreciate it. You know, a virtual round of applause for Diesel, man. Fantastic class, full of great detail on a strategy, also a little bit into the mindset. And then we had some fun, you know, kicking some old school military jargon around the block. But yeah, thank you for doing this class, man. When you know, brought you on the server, you know, we had a couple direct messages. I knew that you were going to be popular, and I'm glad we brought you on the server to give us your style and come along on our journey with us together, man. It's been fantastic. So definitely tell your friends about Diesel Trades. You can find them on Traders War Room, and we look to have you in another class in the future, man.
Appreciate it, brother. I got a couple more classes I could teach. I'll get in touch with you, man. I'll kick you the curriculum and see if it's something you guys would like.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And just so you guys know that are on the net, I'm going to process this video. It's a little bit longer than some of our other classes. You know, we're edging up on almost 2 hours. We got about an hour and 50 minutes. So it'll take a little bit to process, but definitely check your emails. As soon as it's processed, I'm going to push out the video. I'm going to push out the PowerPoint presentation, and we'll make sure that you guys get your copy that you paid for. So you have that tool and a reference point so you can go attack the market come Tuesday when that bell rings, baby.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Chuck, will you be emailing those PowerPoint slides?
Yeah, Yep, I'm
Okay.
going to attach them to the automated distribution list that we have. So you'll get both the link to the video and you'll get the link to the PowerPoint presentation as well.
Oh, awesome. Thanks.
Yep, no
Thanks,
problem.
Liesl.
Of course. If y'all are feeling frisky, drop me a testimonial on TWR. Let these other guys know what they missed.
Yep. And the
Oh,
testimonials.
they're definitely gonna get it.
Yeah, and the testimonials are good, man. I know a lot of people get gun shy. They're just, they just kind of want to lurk around in the background. But man, the testimonials are what tell other people that are not premium members. They're not market warriors. They're not making the market bend the knee in 2023 like we are.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
them, hey, you guys are missing out, man. Quit sleeping on TWR. Quit wasting that money that's not making money and join the team. That's what you're telling them.
And to coattail off of that, myself as an instructor, I look at everything you guys say about me. If I sucked at teaching, if I cuss too much, or if I talk too fast, please put that in testimonials, because that's just going to make my next class that much better. I take everybody's consideration into how I teach.
Hey, Deanna, your messages are going right to me, not to everybody.
There we go. I see you, Deanna. I see you now. There's another guy who I want to give an honorary shout out to from TWR. He's really, really solid. I had a one-on-one lesson with him. I had a one-on-one talk, completely free of charge. He was just a solid guy. Ty Love.
T-Love, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my boy. I'm surprised he's not in class today. I think he paid for the class. He just may not be able to make it in, but dude, he's loyal, man. He's been with us since the beginning. And and he's always just asking questions, man, asking questions. And in fact, just like in the military, man, you promote from within.
Yes, sir.
He was just a normal member, and we worked on his style, we mentored, we coached, and we put him on that journeyman to be an analyst.
Yeah, I love Ty. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, a lot of the people who I talk to on Discord, I like Bigger McCracken, solid guy as well.
Yep.
Yeah, Ty's hilarious. He's an old school smooth dude. I was on a voice chat with him, just guiding him through, some entries and exits. That man, he leaves no questions unanswered or unasked. That's good. That's a good mindset to have.
I remember the first time, just to go a little detail on it, right? So we used to have this guy named Pastor. He used to do a live trading for us. And Pastor wasn't used to people asking questions, being upfront and blunt, you know what I mean? And Ty Love's old military, he was just asking these questions and they booted him off of the live stream. And he hit me up. He's like, hey, what, WTF? And I was just like, hold on, let me go talk. And then basically it came back that he was too blunt and too aggressive for the atmosphere of what they're trying to do. And I was just like, man, this is the bullpen. This is Wall Street, man.
Yes, sir.
If you're not aggressive, you're getting ate up. You got to go get it.
That's the octagon, man. I'm the same way, man. You got to be able to dish it out and take it.
Yep. So I talked to him, I smoothed it out, and we've been smooth sailing ever since. But
that's funny though. I could see it. Yeah, I love the Discord. I wouldn't call it Discord beef, but it kind of is, man. I've had a couple of instances where a lot of people, like, I've added this in the bullet points in my PowerPoint, like, oh, why are you doing trend lines? It's just astrology trading, MA crossovers and like motherfucker, like you want me to pull up the facts right now? I'll drop my portfolio here. And like we're just going back and forth. This guy, he's an actual investment banker. He works for Stanley Morgan or Morgan Stanley. There we go.
Yeah, we had a guy like that, man. Before we started going live with the LLC, we had a group, on Facebook, and we had a guy, Chris remembers him, this Matt dude, and he was a real good trader, but he was extremely like politically minded, and he was real left, you know what I mean? And
oh man.
And so, whatever, I don't get politically charged, but he would always bring some sort of politically charged antics into trading theory and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And Chris finally blew up on him one time and was just like, bro, I've been doing this for 35 years, former Wall Street, broker, kicking it in the bullpen and everything. And it's like, you're nuts. And they just went back and forth. And I had to come in and go, hey, time out, y'all. Time out. Hey, Chris, you remember that?
What was that?
That was Matt. You remember some of those?
Oh, dude, man. No, the problem with Matt was he was smoking too many doobies during workout.
Yeah, man. You ain't got a Tesla, man.
Hey, he was a good trader. He just was too politically minded in his thinking, man. Like he would let his political ideations get in the way of, technical analysis and fundamental analysis. You know what I mean? And
yes, sir.
Yeah, the guy really knew his stuff. What really got me with him was he was always saying, government spending is necessary. It's necessary. Well, yeah, look how necessary it is right now.
Yeah, what fucking gender studies? I was gonna say I'm getting political, but shit, man, that's
it was funny listening to them go back and forth. So I'd let them get it out of their system, and then finally it got to the point that it was getting some nasty digital hate back and forth, and I was just like, time out, y'all, time out.
I think he left the group a few times, but one of the times he left was when I said, hey, why don't you come to Miami and go on a fishing trip with me?
Oh man. I think they're healthy. I was gonna say there's the Discord hate. Yeah, like you stray away from that, but it's funny when people try to check you. You know what I mean? It first of all, it makes sure that you know that you're on your A game. Like I will never bullshit anybody. Like any sort of answer I give them is I either research it or it's just speaking from experience. You know what I mean? When people ask questions, they try to test you or, try to poke holes in your mindset. So it keeps you humble, but I definitely condone it. But sometimes it just gets off the hinges. It starts turning into like an Alex Jones podcast.
Yeah.
And we're just going in like, yeah, the water's turning the frogs gay.
Well, I look at it, there's a tactical, just like in the, in the military, when you're being tactical with, talking to, superiors or even your peers, you got to have some sort of tactical professionalism about you. And there's a way to ask your question and try to get the result you're looking for without being a douchebag.
Yes, sir.
And as a business owner, I've learned that, firsthand I call it, it's customer relationships, but it's also sociological relationships as well. It's being able to identify with a bunch of different personalities and figure out the middle ground of how can I make you see what I want you to see and hear what I want you to hear without you getting pissed.
Oh man, I test myself with that every day, brother. I was gonna say, like the Lance Corporals I'm getting nowadays, shit. Whew.
Hey, it's just not the Marines, man. That's the military in general. The privates we get these days, they it used to be old school, right? Sergeant tell you, hey, go fix your uniform, you're out of regulation. Nowadays, you tell a private, hey, go fix your uniform, you're out of regs. They pull up the reg on their phone and they're just like, well, can you explain exactly where in this regulation, Sergeant, that I'm out of regulations because I don't see it? And you're just like, go do some push-ups. Well, technically, you can't make me do push-ups anymore. It's considered hazing, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, dude.
So we'll go find that damn regulation in the tree line, son. We'll go find it.
wall to wall counseling out by the tree line.
Yes, sir.
Hey, are they still doing the in basic training? Are they still doing those? What are those cards called? Where if they get too stressed, they
Hey, they tried it. They tried the stress cards. Thank goodness for the Sergeant Major of the Army. Nowadays, the one that we have currently, he put a stop in that because he realized that we were getting a lot of the
Pussies.
quality of soldier that was coming
we're
in.
getting a lot of pussies.
Well, and they stopped it. So they did a test pilot on it. They realized that soldiers were abusing it. And so they decided to change the attack, not attacking, but the atmosphere of the actual drill sergeants themselves being more, yes, strict, to the standard, but also being influencers rather than I'm your drill sergeant, do what I say. More so, I'm your drill sergeant. Here's what you need to do, and this is why you do it. So it's been working out. But this new kid, man, I got 2 teenagers that are right there at that adult age of coming in the military, and they're just clueless, man. Look at my 2.
It's all upbringing, man.
Hey, that's what they say, but I brought them up pretty good, and they're still clueless.
Shit, sometimes you gotta get burnt by the flame, man. Like, I've had a couple of dudes who've had a lot of, most improved awards, I call them most improved awards. They come in, 18, 19 years old, ready to fucking take on Fallujah by themselves, and you take them on a fucking field op, and they're like, okay, got my shit pushed in pretty deep. I'm gonna listen to this guy from now on.
Yeah, man. I look at that every time I go. I went on man, I can't make this up. So I went on it was a field problem, and it was a nice field problem. We had billets, you know what I mean? So we had 4 walls. The billets, every bunk had a power cord, so you could charge up your stuff and all that. I mean, this was probably the best field problem I didn't have to dig a hole. I didn't have to put up a tent. I didn't have to do none of that. And there's one guy, he was sitting there, and he was a preventative med guy. This was for the expert medical badge. And he was like, yo, man, I'm not used to this type of environment with the Army. He's a private. It's like, I'm used to 9 to 5 in my office with my computer stuff. I don't think the Army's cut out for me. I looked at him, I was like, bro, you got like Wi-Fi signal here. I was like, you got a plug-in. I was like, we're not even in the mud. I was like, this is good living. I was like, this is good. We got a heater and a cooler. I was like, we're good. So I hope he leaves, because man.
Oh, that's freaking great.
All right. Well, hey, Diesel, appreciate it. Thank you very much. I got to check out, but it was a really, 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 really good class, man. I love it.
I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, I like to keep the quality as high as I possibly can make it, man.
Yep. Yeah, man. I think we got pretty much good on all the questions. I'm going to go ahead and close it out unless you got something else you want to push, but I'll go ahead and just close it out, and we'll get the recording ready.
I think that's it, brother. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all come Tuesday. I'm gonna celebrate my birthday tonight, tear it up a little bit, and got a hike.
All right. Happy birthday, brother.
I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.